the bingo book, Cosmos Era Edition. Let's get it started. We got two titans, we got Zach and we got Vayne, who come up first. First of all, Zach's Lost Chapter's coming up in a few days, followed by Vayne's event, which is gonna be amazing because this guy right here, you gotta pay attention. Vayne is busted. His first skill is designed to give him stacks. Once he gets these stacks, the whole side of the screen flips to pluses. I'm talking Brave, HP, first skill, second skill, EX, all of it flips to plus. And while he's in this state, he doesn't use turns. So that is amazing. Let's get to the next thing. The second skill, breaks broken targets. So essentially what you do with Vayne is you get the stacks, you flip to the skills that don't waste turns, and you get the breaks in, and you keep it going. But don't worry, if you ever run out of abilities, press his EX, and it refreshes one use of his first and second skill. It doesn't get any better than that. But you got Zach, who is the super tank. He pops the apocalypse, and he puts the shield up. Now this shield, you gotta pay attention, this shield hardly ever gets broken. This shield is based on his initial brave. I think it's 150% of his initial brave. So in English, that means if anything hits you with a brave attack, while Zach has them focused on him, they're not gonna break the shield. 10 times out of 10, they're gonna be hitting a 0. So of these two, I would definitely recommend getting both of them. I know I am. But if you want to skip them, hey, that's on you. I'm getting my Vayne, I'm setting people back, I'm getting Zach, and I'm attacking everybody and tanking anything and everything. Next up, we got Ashe and we got Fran. You already know what I'm going to say about these two. Next, we got Rydia's Lost Chapter, which is going to be kind of weird because she's more or less a Lulu alternative with an EX. So she doesn't really do that much different. You know, she got the enchant and whatnot, so it's pretty similar to Lulu. For me, I'm probably gonna end up skipping that. But for the FF12, you gotta understand. Fran is a 35 CP legend. Anytime I say 35 CP legend, this means that these characters are stronger than a good portion of other characters with EXs to the point where they don't need to have an EX to be in the same category. Which is a little insane if you ask me. But yeah, Fran is busting out 99Ks. I remember that. That was a glorious day. I was like, let me see if I can make this work. Oops, it actually did work. So she delivers a crazy amount of debuffs. But that is her weakness as well because it works on this really weird stacking system. She has to get 5 stacks to reach max potential, which kind of sucks. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have used her more throughout the Cosmos era because she doesn't really have a way to battery herself up and she runs out of skills quickly because she needs an EX. But that's where Ashe comes in because Ashe has got the stun on her EX while providing a good amount of buffs and just supporting the team perfectly while having offensive capabilities. So putting these two together really works wonders. In fact, I did duo the EX for this stage on Fran's event and it just went perfectly. We didn't even need a battery. These two were just pumping out numbers. So yes, I'm definitely going for both of them. This should have been obvious. Like, come on. As much as I talk about FF12, like seriously, get it together. I'm definitely getting Fran and Ashe, of course, 100%. We've got the man with the machine gun and Big Shield Gardener. Didn't I call somebody else Big Shield Gardener? Doesn't make a difference because this is the original Big Shield Gardener. Whenever he presses an ability, you're getting a big shield. The rework, oh my god, the rework. His first skill, the shield now covers everybody and it's not just a small one, it's a very, very big shield. And the chances of anybody taking it down in the Cosmos era is actually slim to none. I've never had my shield broken. So the only way you're gonna get your shield actually broken is if you don't refresh it for about 5+ turns and you've been taking a beating with brave attacks consistently. That's the only way. Aside from that, I cannot see it ever going down because you can just put it back up. Both of his skills are shields, come on now. The second one delivers the taunt, which is amazing and puts a shield up. The first one is the shield that gives everyone a shield. And let's talk about Laguna. That Ragnarok cannon, that charges super quickly. He still has his trademark debuffs, you know, the auras after the second skill. He's just doing wonders. He's got very nice attacks, fillers. His EX charge is stupidly fast. I mean, he's not the greatest character, but for the start of a level 70 era, he's doing great. Especially since we've got, what did they call it? The Abyss, which is basically the global version of FEOD. So basically a gigantic tower of death. So you're going to need to diversify your roster as much as possible. So I wouldn't exactly put anybody in a barrel just yet. But then again, it depends on what you're going up against, because I have no idea what's going to be in the Abyss. But I can tell you, having diverse team comps is how you win, since that is going to be the global precursor to FEOD. So Warrior of Light, definitely get this guy for Laguna. I mean, it depends on your setups. Next up, we got one of my personal lethal favorites, Paine, followed by the Porom, and of course, Alisaie gets her EX because Lost Chapter, duh. Now let's talk about a few things. Alisaie is a great duelist, and she has some nice rotations, nice animations. In fact, she's a very strong character, especially for single target. But that doesn't mean because you're getting her that you need to trash talk Porom. Porom is designed for you to stay alive. She specializes in reducing HP damage for the entire party, and also healing. She's not very turn efficient. I know I'm not helping the situation while trying to defend her, but yeah, she's not turn efficient. She wastes a lot of turns, but she will keep you alive. This is going to be very important for Chaos. I repeat, very important for Chaos. But for Cosmos, I don't really think you need to use her. But if you want to go after future investments in order to stay alive, because you will get killed during Chaos, that is a fact, it's not an opinion, I assure you that, you might want to get Porom. But if you just want a duelist, go after Alisaie because she's really good and pops a bunch of skills and flashy and people are like, oh my god. But for me, I'm going to be worrying about the future. So I'm probably going to go for Porom because I want to stay alive and I'm not trying to get killed on Chaos again. Been there, done that, definitely not doing it again. So let's discuss Paine because I have a lot of experience using Paine and being put in pain because of Paine and farming too much because of Paine, and that allowed me to inflict more pain while using Paine. While she starts up extremely slow, which is also a pain, because she has to get maximum stacks in order to get max potential and a bunch of stat boosts. But at least you can just drop her debuff on somebody and then their stats are just gone. They're not going to be able to do anything. The second you put that debuff on, she is hitting high numbers consistently. So let's break down this debuff, no pun intended. What it does is, it is everything rolled into a frame debuff. I'm not playing. It is max brave down, initial brave down, attack down, defense down, and speed down. While when she reaches max stacks, she gets attack, speed, defense, initial brave, max brave. She basically gets every single stat boost once she reaches 5 stacks, which is absolutely crazy. Now let's get into the EX. This is the crazy part. Once you drop your debuff on somebody and then you press her EX, you're going to be doing an astronomical amount of damage. Like, we're talking Overflow Queen levels of damage. Yeah, it's that high. And when she pops her EX, you also get an additional buff that extends to the whole party, thus boosting everybody's initial brave, max brave, attack, defense, speed, you know, the whole list. That's an additional stat boost for everybody while she's putting out damage, and it also drops the enemy stats again. Like, this isn't even fair. I used to call Paine niche because a lot of people skipped her, but honestly, this is one of the best characters in the entire Cosmos era in my own opinion, because she's just good. She's just flat out good. There's hardly anything wrong with her aside from, you know, the slow startup, but she's really good aside from that. You can use her in just about every single situation. I've never had any issues using Paine. She's actually really good in the Cosmos era and in the Chaos. That's something to keep in mind, because we are going over some Chaos stuff and you really want to build for both eras. If you only build for Cosmos, you're going to be in trouble. So for me, I'm definitely going to have to get Paine. The first time it was an accident, but now that I'm looking back at it, it was actually one of the best things that happened to me during the Cosmos. Cause if I didn't get her, to be honest, I probably would have been struggling like something fierce, because her debuffs and stat boosts just helped me through a lot of tough situations that I probably wouldn't have gotten through if she wasn't on the team. But even if she wasn't there, I probably would have found a way anyways. It just made things a lot easier for me, because dropping stats at her level with a frame debuff is unmatched. Now let's get into the lightning rework. The Noctis rework, oh my, that thing is crazy. We also got Sync getting EX, we've got Yuna getting EX. Sync's kind of slow. Selfie can help that because she ups the speed of EX recharges. But Yuna has the same problem Sync does. It takes her too long to get to the EX. You see, Setzer, on the other hand, is a very fast character with a decently charging EX rate. His red card also got supremely buffed, because when you hit somebody with that thing, on average, I'm seeing like 60Ks. It is absolutely beautiful. Also, he still has the freeze, so you can't go wrong with that. He's honestly my most used friend support in the history of JP, because he just fits every single situation perfectly. If you don't have anybody else with something else that you prefer, it's like, oh, Setzer's up, I'm gonna just use him. He's also good on the team, good as a friend support, very balanced character, has the setbacks on the second skill, can't forget about the red cards. So for the Setzer, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to get it this time, because I never had Setzer's EX and I really want it because I can make some crazy setups. So this is a definite go-to for me. As for Prince Noctis, oh boy, guess what's coming up next? Let's just make him hit twice on his first and second skill, because we don't know what to do with him, and that's basically the gist of his rework. You see, his abilities become so incredibly powerful that I rarely have seen people in co-op even hit his EX, because it's useless unless they just need to get a buff back on. In regards to Lightning, she is still trash in my opinion. She gets HP damage on her first skill, but she's more or less the same, which is pretty sad. But just to give some spoilers, because I am going over some Chaos content because it's relevant to Cosmos, once she gets to Chaos, she is an absolute beast. She's actually one of the best characters for single target plus delay in the entire game, so that much you can take away from this. But for Cosmos era, she's still gonna be trash can in my opinion. You see, the thing about Sync is she's okay. Her EX is excellent. That's 200% overflow right there, so that's a lot of damage. You're going to 99k in the summon easily. Plus it launches and delays the opponent by one turn. It's not anything crazy, but it's enough. Her first skill also delivers speed drop and defense drop. I think they did this because they knew she was incredibly slow. But then again, that doesn't exactly help her that much, because she's still slow regardless, even though you just drop the opponent's speed. So if you can find a way to speed her up, she can definitely be a viable asset. If you can't, she's just gonna be a problem, because that EX takes way too long to come up, and then you got issues and you're running out of turns, and it just causes a very big problem. So if you can find a way to speed that EX and her up, she's gonna be excellent. A perfect solution to charging slow EXs, or every EX in general, is Selfie's EX, because it ups the recharge rate of other EXs while battering the team, which is something to take into account if you want to play that way. But for me personally, I'm probably not gonna go for Selfie or get Yuna's EX, because Yuna's issue is she takes so long just to get her EX up. You gotta use Asuna, cheer, Asuna, cheer, Asuna, cheer. Oh my god, my EX is finally up. It's just not worth the time for me, and for the Cosmos era, it's not really needed. But in terms of spoilers, when Yuna gets EX+, she is gonna start with her summon, which is excellent. Which means she won't waste as much time, you know, blowing skills and whatnot. She can just go straight in and start blowing stuff up and dealing out some numbers and not being a hindrance to your team. We got Prompto, we've got Noel, and we've got Alphi. They're all really good in their own ways. Except Alphi doesn't get Black Carbuncle Cough. But there is one character. Avoid Gilgamesh's EX. It is absolutely awful. He just spins a million times and only hits like 3 brave hits, followed by an HP attack. It's just not worth my time. Prompto's EX charges super fast, but it's not really up there in the damage department. But that's okay, because once he marks his targets with his second skill, you'll see this nice blue thing flashing over the opponent. Like, what is that? Those are bullet holes? Absolutely, because your HP attack now switches into crack shot, which ignores defense. So that kind of compensates for the low EX damage. And let's not forget, the first skill is a flashbang. It puts target lock on your enemies and they have to focus you, while you get 2 turns of evasion. So he's pretty niche. I ended up with him by accident. Am I gonna go for him? Probably not, but is he good? Decent. On the list of more 35 CP characters, we have Alphi, who is pretty decent. He's not what I would call a 35 CP legend. He's just a 35 CP character. He feels like he has high potential for the distant future, but for Cosmos era, all he does is just have no turn battery, and he has some healing potential. His HP attack flips to something that looks like Paladin Cecil-esque HP attack, as long as Carbuncle is on the field. Once he gets broken, Carbuncle goes away, first skill summons him back, and that's pretty much the gist of it. That's all he does. He's not the worst and he's not the best, but he is a good filler if you need a battery, and he's also very cost effective. Again, 35 CP. If I can end up with him, absolutely, but am I gonna go after him like hardcore? Probably not. See, the thing about Noel is he is very good at breaking his targets, delaying his targets, also good at dealing explosive damage. His EX ignores defense. Like, what more could you ask for? This guy is a beast. He'll go through anybody. I've never had his EX before, but this time I'm definitely gonna have to give this a try because the dude is a monster. So he's gonna be on my roster for sure, 100%. The last of the 35 CP legends, Ashe, Realm finally gets an EX. Took long enough, right? Leon also gets his EX, and Sherlotta, ooh, there's a lot to say on this character, being the last of the Cosmos era. See, Ashe specializes in putting on lots of framed buffs, which is excellent. She can even be used on chaos stages because she's so good at this. Most notably, the Brave Regeneration, the framed buffs. That's what she's good at. You see, as for Realm, she's a very interesting character. She plays heavily around her sketch ability, and her EX now applies sketch, so just think how crazy things have gotten. She now has more max brave, more attack, just basically more everything, plus her EX comes up at a decent rate. I also realized something else that's kinda crazy. If you utilize sketch properly, you can just continuously just keep going, and continuously keep going. You can even go beyond 5 turns, which is the weird thing about it. I'm not sure if they ever changed this, but yeah, she can go past 5 turns, because once your friend support hits 0, booyah, she's jumping straight to the front, and she's going again. Totally unfair, but hey, mechanics are mechanics, right? To sum up Leon's EX, what it does is it turns non-elemental brave attacks that are going to hit the party to dark damage while giving the party the ability to absorb dark damage, so you're not going to get hurt. For the last character in the Cosmos era, that is Sherlotta from Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Echoes of Time. I know the title is entirely too long, but you have to know because she is undoubtedly the best character from the Cosmos era. Her first skill doesn't waste a turn. Her EX doesn't waste a turn. Now let's get into her EX because it's very, very important that you get this EX, because what it does is it increases the HP damage dealt by your party. So essentially what's gonna happen next is after you do that, you're gonna press her second skill, which is going to unleash an onslaught of damage. When she first came out, during her Cosmos, I hit over 150k easily, and this ability wasn't even an EX. She only has 4 of these, but honestly, that's all she needs. She just does way too much damage. She's super useful. Probably the god of supports in the Cosmos era. Be very careful because the start of Chaos is not nice to anyone. In fact, I didn't even beat it. I had to come back a whole month later because they extended the event because it was that terrible. Only 10% of the roster was usable. Everybody else was in the dirt. You could not use them. They do not work. Don't even try. Everyone has tried. You will see a lot of videos with the same teams because this is what works. This is what you have to use. Otherwise, you cannot win. I cannot stress that enough. Unless Global makes changes, right here on the screen, this is everything that works. You see, Sync is a maybe, as in friend support, get the launch, possibly up your score, get some damage off. Sephiroth can possibly work on the team. It really depends on the setup, but you're gonna need a lot of turn cheaters, a lot of battery, a lot of that stuff, because you're gonna see a lot of characters start to hit ones because the defense on these Chaos bosses is so high, their health is so high, damage output way too high. There's just everything that's too high. You just cannot deal with it with normal characters. You need EX+, and guess who gets theirs first? Could it be the golden boy of Final Fantasy? Yeah, it is Cloud. So once you get Cloud, he kind of trivializes the first Chaos to an extent, but you still need good supports. Otherwise, you're not going to make it through.